Hey, what's up? Welcome back to Precipice. You are here with Ntogo and Ross Griffin. We are so keen for our very first recorded video podcast that we're doing. So we're super excited about this. And I just guess it makes it a bit more personal. You see us, you see what it's like, how it happens, and we're super keen for this. But before we get into what we're going to be talking about today, bro, how you doing?
I'm very, very good, and even if I don't mention it, I'm sure you're going to mention
Yeah,
why I'm
100%.
so
Yeah. Listen, so Ross yesterday got engaged to his was former girlfriend, now fiance Louise. Yeah. So I'm super excited about this. I mean,
I'm pretty excited.
I'm pumped about this. I mean, I remember when we spoke, you were going a couple of weeks ago to go speak to Louise's dad.
Yeah.
I was super keen, and yeah, it's honestly amazing news, bro.
Yeah.
So I mean, I was gonna ask you how's your day been, but I'm pretty sure it's been good.
Like, it's been a flipping good.
I mean,
can't say much more than
that. Nah, that's good. That's good. I mean, today has been a very productive day for me. Good. Honestly, I think I got through a whole lot of work. I mean, I've got like 3 tests this week and an assignment due on Friday, so it's a bit of a busy week, but yeah, pretty keen.
Yeah.
Pretty keen.
And I just love how you're saying that this is our first video podcast, but actually if you think back to how we started off doing videos and thought that podcasts would be better, but now we sort of said, well, why don't we just do both? Why don't we do videos and podcasts? So here we are.
Yeah.
What are we talking about today?
So today we're talking about a really interesting principle called what's in your hand. What's in your hand? So now it's pretty, I mean, you can think about it as like, what does that mean? But the main idea is, what skills do you have at your disposal that you can use to not only better your own life, but the lives of people around you? What are the skills that you have that you can use? You know, oftentimes as people, we tend to think that, okay, once I have a degree or once I can do X, Y, and Z, then I'll be able to do all that I want, which to some degree is true. It does help you, but actually, if we live in that kind of mentality, it leaves us from seeing what we have now and what we have at our disposal right now that we can use to help us in whatever that we're trying to do. So maybe if I can throw the question, what's in your hand that you've been using or whatever? I mean, I know last week in your hand was an engagement ring, but it's a little bit different now. It's someone else's hand, but what's in your hand?
Yeah, so I think what's been really interesting for me is that I've my whole life pursued all these interests, and like I think when every young person is in high school, they're trying to figure out like they're trying to figure out what they're interested in, what they want to do with the rest of life. Like you hear this thing like follow your passion, and I don't buy into the whole like follow your passion thing. And we can go into that another time. But like in my hand, I've always been interested in photography, videography, reading, website design, graphic design, and that marketing as well. So I guess those are all these skills that I've always been interested in, and I've considered careers in each and every single one of those things. And it ultimately culminated in this place where I was overseeing a team that did pretty much every single one of those functions. So I wasn't doing all of those functions. I wasn't a photographer, videographer, web designer, web developer, but I was overseeing a group of people that did that. And like when I look back, it's like I would never have got this job if I wasn't interested in all of those things and didn't pursue interest in all of those things.
So I think like what you're talking, maybe a question that could arise from someone is that, okay, I hear what you guys are saying, what's in my hand, what do I have, but it's like, how do I see what are the skills that I can use to sort of get me somewhere or get me doing stuff, or what are the skills that I can't use? That skills that are just like, it's a skill, but really, like, I mean, let's say your skill is sleeping long, you know? I mean, unless if you get hired to be one of those sleep models, you know? You know, so how do you see, what are some of the skills that I can use, and then how do you go about bettering those, you know? For you, what do you think?
So I think, like, if you're going to ever be successful in this world, what you need to do is you need to identify problems and understand how can I solve those problems, whether it be through my skills or a product or a service that I can offer that can solve those problems. So to use your silly example, like I like to sleep a lot. How can a person like that solve problems in our world? Well, think about a scientist that's doing sleep research.
Yeah.
They need someone that can sleep a lot so they can do research on that person. Think about people that make beds.
Yeah.
Like, you, as stupid as it sounds, there's always going to be a problem that your skills and your talents can solve.
Yeah.
So I guess that's a good starting place. Is
Yeah.
find a problem that you can solve, and then think, how can I solve this problem?
Yeah. And I think off the back of that, so once you've established a problem, or hey, this is what I can do with my skill, the biggest thing that we need to be able to do is take risks. Be able to say, hey, I'm gonna risk X amount. You know, so many people are looking for comfort and safety, which I think there is some merit to those. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you, it is comfortable going home knowing that, hey, I have a roof over my head,
Yeah.
there's electricity, there's food. That is a good comfort. But sometimes we need to be able to take a risk that might cause it all to go, but also might pay out in the long run. But also having a good risk assessment is also super necessary. Not just taking risks for the sake of taking risks. That's foolish. But also being able to go out. Actually, as we talk about this, I'm remembering a story. It's in Richard Branson's book, and so he had this show of his, something billionaire or whatever, and he had a couple of guys, and at the end, the people I think won like £1 million. And so at the end of the show, the guy who had won has this £1 million, and then Richard Branson says to this guy, okay, here's the $1 million. A part of that was actually that he could manage all of Virgin businesses for 3 months.
Okay.
I mean, that's a crazy thing.
Crazy.
Like, that's insane. So 3 months
Just
managing,
imagine like how much you learn in 3 months
insane.
from managing.
Like Virgin, I mean, not just Virgin Mobile, like the Virgin Group,
that's
the
like
brand.
airplanes and all sorts.
Madness.
Yeah.
And so he's like, okay, cool, but here's a coin toss. You can either double the prize money and extend your managing to 6 months, or just take the $1 million and manage for 3 months. And that was it. It was like, what do you choose? You know, and the guy thought about it for a bit, but actually the guy was like, no, I'm not going to take the risk. I'm just going to manage for 3 months. And Richard Branson off the back of that was like, actually, I trust you more now to do that. And the main idea is that it's good to take risks, but risks that make sense.
Yeah.
Now you risking it all over a coin toss. I mean, it's a 50-50 chance. That's not a good risk.
Yeah.
But also taking risks is super crucial if we're wanting to be successful in whatever that we're trying to be in.
So Jim Collins talks about this concept called shoot bullets first, then cannonballs in his book, Great by Choice.
Yeah.
The basic idea is that the best companies, they take risks, but they're very small risks.
Yeah.
So what they do is they'll take a risk and they'll throw like a small fraction of their income at something that like, maybe this is an opportunity. They throw a fraction of money at it and a fraction of time and resources at it.
Yeah.
And then if the bullet hits a target, then they're like, okay, let's throw another one and make another one. And if they're like, okay, no, this is an opportunity. We see these bullets are working.
Yeah.
They're hitting their mark. And it's not such a big risk. They like lump all their resources and everything into it. Such a good thing.
That's actually a brilliant principle, hey?
But I was just thinking about what you're saying about like what's in our hand. Another like when I think about people and like their skills and like maybe even their possessions and their assets and like how they make use of those things.
Yeah.
Something I've often seen is, and I'm going to use an example of like a photographer.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the photographer or the photography community, there's this term GAS, G-A-S, Gear Acquisition Syndrome.
Okay.
And the basic idea is that a lot of photographers think like, I'll be a better photographer if I buy a better camera, or I'll be a better photographer if I get a better lens, and I can't like put myself out there and start a photography business because I don't have this lens or I don't have this flash. Yeah. And I think so often we do that without even realizing it.
Yeah.
Like we say, hey, I could start a business, but let me just get my BCom in business first. Or like, I could start a business, but let me just finish my degree first.
Yeah.
And I guess that's sort of what we're talking about. Is like actually not taking risks or just going for it and just waiting for the opportune time is a form of procrastination.
It actually is. It actually is. And I mean, there's an old saying. I mean, I'm sure we all know it, but it's so true.
Yeah.
There is no time better than the present.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, if you want to do something, there's no time better than today.
Yeah.
There's no time better than going out and trying it out, and obviously taking manageable risks, but also just
Yeah.
gunning for it. And we were talking beforehand. We were talking about. I mean, you don't have a degree, but
Yeah.
you're doing pretty well.
Yeah.
If I'm honest.
So let me. I actually had a conversation with my now fiance a while ago, and I was like, I don't think you're going to be a teacher for the rest of your life. And she said to me, and I hope she doesn't mind me sharing this story.
Yeah.
And if she does, I want to edit this out because I'll be in trouble.
Shucks.
She
Is this
said to me,
engagement gone? I'm kidding.
Yeah, it's not in my hand anymore. Yeah. So I said to her like, I don't think you're gonna be a teacher for your whole life. And she
Yeah.
said, well, what can I do with a teacher's degree? And I said, well, what can I do with my degree?
Yeah.
And I don't have a degree. And I think that's a trap that a lot of people fall into is like, well, I can't do it because I don't have X.
Yeah.
And in my situation, and we've spoken about this before, I think I've had a really good growth mindset. So I've always said, like, what can I do better? What
Yeah.
can I learn? How can I learn?
Yeah.
And the thing that I've really struggled with is I'm a perfectionist.
Yeah.
And perfection is like the ultimate barrier to progress.
Yeah.
Perfection is the ultimate barrier.
to progress.
Like,
yeah.
It really is, because like as a perfectionist, you're like, I will only launch this business when the branding is perfect.
Yeah.
I've got like 5 customers like lined
Lined
up.
up. Yeah.
I've got like everything is just perfect. Like it's ready to move, like run like a well-run,
Well-run machine.
Yeah, that
Well-oiled machine.
Yeah, well-oiled machine. That's
Yeah.
the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
But then you don't launch it ever because you're just waiting for it to be perfect.
Yeah.
And perfection never comes.
Mm.
So I think like
Hmm.
if I was to advise people, like just start
Yeah.
with what's in your hand.
Yeah.
Like take what you have and just start and improve on it as you go.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe whatever it is that you're doing could be the biggest or fastest growing company in South Africa
Yeah.
or wherever you're watching this from. Because I know there's a couple of people from the US and
Yeah.
Ireland watching this, which is pretty cool. But
Should we look at this practically? Like let's say I want to start a business.
Yeah.
How do I use what's in my hand to go and start a business?
yeah, so let's find a business. So let's say I have a skill of baking. Okay, I'm really good at baking, and I want to start a baking business. So my skill is baking. So what are the first steps? Well, I think one of the first things that you can do is bake.
Yeah.
Bake and send it out to people. Say,
Yeah.
hey,
Not-
do you
not
like
even
these?
sell it,
Yeah,
like,
no,
give it
just
to
give,
friends.
yeah,
Yeah.
give it to people. But hey, do you like these? Do they
Yeah.
taste nice? Well, how can I improve? How can I make them better? Is the decoration good or whatever?
Yeah.
And start doing that.
And you know, we actually live in the most beautiful time to start a business like that right now. Like in this period of time is one of the best times to start a business like that.
Yeah,
Because back in the day, if you wanted to start a baking business, you would need a bakery.
yeah,
You'd need a shop. You need a place to dispense it from.
Yeah.
So like my advice to someone that wants to start a business like that is, what have you got? You've got this skill. Take the skill. Start dispensing the product.
yeah,
And then once like people will say, hey, this is really good. How much is it? How can I get more?
yeah,
Because people will come to you once they know you're good.
yeah.
Then you start taking orders over WhatsApp. You don't
Yeah.
even need like the physical
Store.
upfront cost.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's such a beautiful time to be doing something.
It's crazy. And I mean, we have stuff like social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. You can utilize those platforms to get your brand out there. You know,
Yeah.
you don't have to have like flyers on every
Mm.
single poster stand or maybe a billboard ad. I mean, if you can afford it, do it. It's gonna help. But
Those things are pricey.
so,
So I'm just sharing this with you. A billboard costs roughly 10 to 20,000 rand a month.
Bro, madness. Madness. So stick to Instagram, you know, and it's so much easier, and it's just get it out there. As it grows traction, people will wanna, if you're good, obviously,
Yeah.
you know, people will wanna be a part of it or buy whatever you want, and then from there it's easier to go and develop your skills. So maybe find training courses that help you bake better or whatever it may be. I mean, we're not saying that because we're using what's in our hands, that's where it stops.
Yeah.
The goal is ultimately to continue to be improving, continuously learning new things. And
Yeah.
I mean, learning is super important in whatever area you're going in. But I think the main idea here is that while we're learning, do something.
Yeah.
Don't just sit back and say, once I'm done learning, then I can do something. But actually, you
Yeah.
can do something now.
Yeah. I guess what you're saying is don't let what you don't have be a barrier to like.
To what you do have.
Exactly.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah.
That's such a brilliant way of putting it.
Should quote that.
Yeah, you should. That's such a
Cool. Should we bring this to a close?
Yeah,
what,
we
what,
should.
What is your biggest takeaway today?
biggest take home point is what's in my hand and what am I doing about it?
Mm.
You know, it's so easy to look at, oh, I've got this, but actually, what am I doing with what's in my hand? And actually, don't let what I don't have
Yeah.
stop me from doing something with what I do have.
Yeah. And I think my biggest takeaway today is to just start and then build on it as you go. Don't wait until you're perfect, because perfection never comes.
Yeah, take risks. Take risks.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you
100%.
so much for joining us. This has been so cool. This has been fun. I hope this works out. And yeah, we'll see you guys in 2 weeks' time with our next episode. Stay safe. We'll see you soon.
Cheers.
Cheers.